Hello? Can you guys hear me? It's Josh. Yeah. Hey, cool. Awesome. Hello. Yes, I am back. Awesome. Hey, nice. Big shoes, yeah. I love drawing big shoes. It's easier than drawing tiny feet, so. At least I think so. I don't know. Never been in one of my streams? Oh, well, welcome. I hope I do okay walking through how to do a walk cycle. Animation, sometimes I feel like you never know how it's really gonna go until you play it, and then you go like, oh, didn't really go exactly how I thought it was, but it's kind of okay, you know? Kind of see how it turns out. So satisfy animation needs. I will try. I mean, I guess it's no longer starting soon. I guess now it's just we just chilling. So we chilling for now. in case anybody joins in and they're like, oh, they starting? We're gonna be starting soon. Just wanna welcome people and everything. My, what big feet you have. Yeah. Favorite artist on the channel? Oh, thank you, high score. And I saw your message about my character holding something. I don't know if I'll be able to get a character holding something, but we'll see. Yeah, it's awesome that we've been able to help you out, Sarah, with your art journey. You're doing the cat, right? I am going to try to do the cat. Yes. It's gonna be a stylized cat, so it's gonna be kind of cartoony. Not gonna do like a super realistic cat because we only have about less than, well, I don't know. We'll see how much time we have. So yeah, and we'll see if anybody can recognize where this cat is from. If anybody knows where it is, I'll be kind of surprised. I'll be kind of impressed if anybody's able to recognize where this cat's from, because it's from a series that's kind of new, so I don't know. See if anyone's able to guess where the cat is from. Be kind of fun. Oh, that's awesome to hear our animation videos helped you. Yeah. No, your phone's at 30%. No. Okay, it's 4:05. I feel like we're at a good spot right now, probably. So we'll probably get started soon. I'll just leave it a little bit on a little longer. But hope everyone's doing good. People who are maybe joining us now. I'm doing okay. It's Friday. Friday is always great, you know. Looking forward to the weekend. And we got Family Day weekend this holiday up to Monday. Oh, I just realized if you're from Canada, at least I guess. I'm guessing all the students here would have had today off, I think. It's Saturday. You can't trick me. I know it's not Saturday. I'm a full-grown adult. You know, I keep track of my days. It's a carnival? Really? Oh, that's so cool. Will we be doing arts missions? Oh, that's kind of true. I guess you could. Yeah, I realized it would be animation that you would, if you want to submit something, you could submit animation, like a clip of it. I don't know if there's like a file size limit, but I feel like walk cycles are typically pretty short anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, you could try it. If you are able to get a walk cycle done alongside with me, that'd be kind of cool. I'd be kind of impressed by that. It'd be kind of neat. Keeping track of the month, that's a lot. Yesterday, I thought it was Friday. Yesterday felt like Friday because, I don't know, went to the mall to go buy some stuff. And I was like, talking to my sister, like, doesn't it feel like Friday? It feels like a day we should go watch a movie. So, yeah. Yeah, keeping track of days is hard. Especially if you don't... I feel like after school, it's harder to keep track of the days. Because you don't, like, really need to keep track of the date. But, yeah. Oops. Okay. Sorry. That was a weird switch. We're gonna listen to this track all over from the beginning again. Just noticed I am using Krita. I am using Krita, yeah. Oh, thank you, Fabulous Froggo. Yeah, it was a sketch I did last night, so... yeah. Okay. If you guys were attending my stream the last time I was here, you might have noticed, I don't know if any picked up, that I only had one song on loop the entire stream. But this time I found some more songs, so this time we won't be looping the same song for 2 hours. Yeah. Oh, you pushed through a math quiz? Dang. You only see Jesse. Yeah, Jesse usually streams on Fridays, but we're trying to add a few more of our instructors onto the stream. So this is my second time streaming. So if you've never seen it before, it's no surprise. Okay, so I think we're gonna get started. I think we waited a good amount of time. We vibe in here for a good amount of time. So I'm just gonna do the intro and then we're gonna get right into animating, or at least walking through the basics, like bare bone basics of animation and all that kind of stuff. So hello, welcome everyone to Wing Canvas. This is our stream where I'm going to be walking through how to do a basic walk cycle. It's going to be from the side view, so nothing too complicated. And I'm just going to walk through the basics of all the different steps that we need to get a walk cycle going. And if you don't know who I am Josh. Hello. I am one of the instructors here at Wing Canvas, and I teach the animation class on Tuesdays, as well as drawing and painting classes on Thursday and Saturday morning. So yes, we're not just a YouTube channel here that walks through how to, do art tutorials and do like streams like this. We're also a school online that runs online classes that you can attend. We do have virtual classes. Those are kind of our main ones, but we also do recorded learning. So if you don't have the time to make the classes, you can also sign up for our recorded classes. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, and if you like what we do here on the YouTube channel, feel free to maybe check out our Patreon. we do have a Patreon where you can support us as we make free arts education. So definitely feel free to check us out there. And if you do become a member on Patreon, you do get some neat perks, like some exclusive badges and emotes on the Discord channel. You'll get our art files from the streams. I will say, like, for the art files, it might be dependent on the type of stream. So yeah, but I feel like most of the time when Jessie does her illustrations stuff on our streams, she usually puts those up there. And you also get some behind the scenes kind of content on when we do make tutorial videos, and you get to see some of the steps, maybe some stuff that had to be edited out or cut out and all that kind of stuff. And you also will get some of our monthly recording from our classes. And so yeah, it's great to be a member, you know. So if you are interested, feel free to check us out on our Patreon and support us. But if you don't, if you're unable to support us on Patreon, that's okay. We also have social media, so you can check us out on Discord, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And if you have any drawings that you want to, upload, drawings that you did alongside us during the stream, feel free to upload those. And remember to tag us. So yeah, that was kind of my plug for our school, but also our YouTube channel as well. So yeah. And for those who are joining us, hello. Welcome to our stream. We are going to be doing a walk cycle, and yes, I am Josh. I am not new to the school, but I am new to streaming, kind of. I streamed last time with the gesture drawing for animation, so now we're going to be doing animation, like actual animation. So yeah, and if you want to follow along, you can, but you don't have to. You can kind of just chill, keep this in the background, watch me as I try to get an animation going. But yeah, I am using Krita for this live stream, so I'm going to be using it. We did put up a Krita tutorial video, so if you don't know what Krita is and you're like, oh wait, you can animate on it, we do have tutorial videos, so if you want to check those out to get yourself familiarized with Krita, that's cool too, and I would highly recommend it. I feel like Krita is pretty user-friendly, pretty easy to get into. Best animation program. I feel like it's kind of up to you. I've had some students recommend like Toon Squid and Flip-a-Clip, I think. Some people really like using Procreate. I feel like it honestly kind of depends on the type of animation you want to make and also your workflow. So some people like a more complicated, like having all the different tools and options, so they might like using what's the other one? Toon Boom. Toon Boom, I feel like, is the industry one. When it comes to 2D animation, they use Toon Boom. For 3D, it's Maya, but Maya's expensive. So if you want to do 3D, Blender is pretty good, but Blender is also kind of complicated. Paper animation. Wow, you old school. Okay, so we're gonna start. We're not gonna be. This is just a sketch of a character that I did last night. We are not animating this character. Instead, we are gonna be animating a cat, which is what you people voted for on our YouTube poll. So what we're gonna be animating is this cat character that I drew over here. Kind of simple, very straightforward. That way I can it's simple enough that I hopefully can get a decent animation done by the end of the stream. And I mentioned this in the beginning. If there's anyone who can recognize what this cat is from, feel free to put it in the chat. It is from a very specific thing, so I don't know if anyone will get it. And the series is kind of new, so again, I don't know if people will know exactly where it's from. But if you feel like you have an idea as to where this cat is from, feel free to put it in the chat. So yeah, this cat is what we're going to be animating. But before we do that, I am gonna just open a new file. So in this way, I can kind of walk through what it's like to set up Krita. So if no one's used Krita before and they want to like see what it's like, this is kind of what by default like what Krita looks like when you open it. So when you create a new file, this is what you'll see. It usually will constantly give you pixels for the measurements, but I'm just gonna change it to inches. 11 by 18 I feel like might be a bit too big, so I'm gonna lower it because we don't need a resolution too high. I feel like 200, actually, you know, we'll go with 175. 175 I feel like is good enough, and we'll do it 11 by, we'll do 11 by 12. I feel like that's a decent size, and I think everything looks good. So if you've never used Krita before, this is I would say, like, if you don't have a really strong computer, don't have the resolution too high, especially if you're doing like something really well, actually no, if you're doing something really simple, it's okay to have it at a lower resolution. So yeah, since this is more kind of just like a demo, I'm just gonna keep it somewhat low. You can almost lower it all the way to 75 and it should be okay. Should still run fine. So yeah, this looks good. I'm gonna press create, and this is what we have. Can you get Krita on mobile? I don't know, actually. You might have to check. I think you can get it on like a tablet, but I don't know about the phone. Phone might be, yeah, I'm doing it on my computer right now. Yeah, so this is what it's gonna look like. And before I start, I'm gonna save, because sometimes if the animation gets too heavy, sometimes Krita will crash on me, and I don't want it to crash while streaming, and then I'll lose my progress. So yeah. I'm just gonna create a save file. I'm doing this off screen, sorry. So if you're like, where'd he go? Why is he not doing anything? I am saving my file. Okay. So I think this is good. Decent enough size. Now, I'm not gonna start animating right away. I'm just gonna walk through kind of the steps and the things you need to know when you are animating. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just taking a look at chat. It's a little janky. It can be, yeah, especially if the file gets too heavy and you're doing a lot of things. Krita can get a little choppy. So I recommend saving very early on, as early as possible, so you don't lose anything. But I will also say that with Krita, it does a good job of auto saving for you. So sometimes when it crashes and you open Krita up again, it'll ask you like, hey, we retrieved an autosave. Do you want to use the autosave? And it'd be like, it won't be like super up to date, but if you were working on it for like 2 hours, it's pretty good. And yeah, so anatomy I would say is kind of important. Maybe not necessarily anatomy, but like proportions. Being able to keep track of volume and space is very important for animation. So yeah, so I'm gonna walk through kind of what you need to know, the steps for no pun intended, the steps of knowing how to do a walk cycle when it comes to animating. And we're doing a side profile animation, so I'm just gonna write, we're doing a walk cycle, and it's gonna be from the side view. Oh, I don't know why I write a W. Gonna be doing like this. Hello Kitty. It kind of looks like Hello Kitty, the one that I'm gonna do. So when it comes to the walk cycle, there's honestly 4 essential steps. Walk cycle is actually pretty easy. Not maybe easy, but it's very simple. And once you understand the steps that you need to get an animation going. All you have to do is just practice it, and it's pretty easy to pick up, and it's easier to kind of perfect. So there are 4 steps to a walk cycle. And the first step, maybe I will make these smaller because I might run out of space. Probably also have to keep an eye on time so that I have enough time. Okay, so there are 4 steps that you need when it comes to a walk cycle, and we're going to be doing a pretty quick walk cycle when we get to our cat character. So we're not going to be doing a long kind of weighted step. We're going to be doing a pretty brisk quick walk, because usually this is the one that requires the least amount of drawings, and it's the one that is the easiest to do and the easiest to start off with. So if you've never done a walk cycle, I would recommend doing it like this if you want to draw a walk cycle that's a little bit more in-depth and has a little bit more fluidity to it. So the first one is called the contact. Okay, and so this is the one where both feet are on the ground. That's why it's called the contact pose, because this is when our character has both their feet touching the ground. It doesn't mean that both feet are planted onto the ground, but it just means that our character is kind of, I'm just going to draw a normal kind of person. I'm not going to draw the arms because arms are kind of up to you and how you want to do it. But yeah. So when we do the contact pose, sometimes people will have the leg kind of, it might be like the heel, but it depends on the type of step that you want. Maybe the front foot is planted and then the back foot is on its toes. But for a usual kind of basic walk cycle, it's usually kind of something like this for the average one. And if you want to keep it simple for yourself, I usually like to have it somewhat like down the middle, somewhat symmetrical. If it's not perfectly symmetrical, it's kind of okay. The next one is called the down pose. So once you have the down pose, the next one you want to do is once you have the contact pose, I mean, you want to do the down pose. And the other key thing about doing a walk cycle is you want to have your steps, everything be kind of on a grounded plane. So sometimes if it's your first time, I find that it's useful to have a ground plane so you can see where the character is stepping and where their feet is contacting the ground. And it's also probably useful to show where the head is. So I might draw a line like maybe somewhere here. Actually, maybe around here. Yeah. Using the eraser. Okay, so I'll usually have a bottom line and a top line to show the height of the character and kind of give me an idea as to where the limits are for this character. So that's kind of how I would set it up, especially if this is your first time animating a character. Should the same rules apply if you're walking on your hands? Actually, probably, yeah, I think so. Okay, so after the contact pose, it's a pose called the down pose, and if you can already guess, what it means is our character is a bit lower. Sometimes you can hunch the body if you want to. You'll have to be careful of that if you decide to hunch the body, because it might make the character kind of wobble around back and forth like a bean, like they're flipping kind of a thing. So you might have to be careful if you do want to hunch the back, because it might be a bit too much, might make the character look like they're, I don't know, going out of control or something. So yeah, So after you have the character, I would lower everything down, and the big part of the down pose is that the legs are bent kind of at their maximum. So the front foot's going to be completely planted onto the ground, and then the back leg, some people draw it a bit different. Some people might have the back leg dragging in the back. Some people might have it really low to the ground. So it honestly really is up to you and how you want to capture the movement and the momentum of the character. So yeah, animation, honestly, after you draw it for a while, you realize it's all just kind of experimenting and seeing what works, seeing what looks good, and if you're able to capture the vibe that you want. Okay, so after the down pose, we have our, some people call this different. I was taught to call this the passing pose, and this is called the passing pose because your body is now leaning forward a little bit. Maybe not too much, but it's maybe leaning a little bit. I'll just exaggerate it so you can kind of see. And then the front leg is straight. And then it's called the passing is because the back leg is now passing in front of the front leg a little bit. So again, dependent on the type of pose you want to do, where you have the leg, the leg that's passing might be a bit different, and it'll create a different feel, it'll create a different sense of weight for your character. So yeah, it looks like a shuffle walk. It kind of will look a little bit. I mean, you could do a shuffle walk. I feel like shuffle walk, you wouldn't have the foot lift off of the ground. So yeah, with a normal walk, you want to have a transition of feet planting on the ground, lifting off from the toes, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if we'll do a running stream, but I don't know. We'll see. That's a good suggestion, though. And then our last one that you want to do is called the up pose. So similar to the down pose, but complete opposite, where it's now past, it's the highest point. And so I'm gonna have, oh, I forgot to draw the pants. Our front leg is now transitioned to the back leg, and this is when our body is stretched the most. Everything is kind of hyperextended if you want it to be, a very positive, upbeat type of a walk cycle. And then after that, we will have our back leg now transition to the front. And again, sometimes everybody draws this a little bit different, depends on the walks style you want to do. If it's maybe like a marching stance, you might have the leg be very high up. But if it's like a normal walk, like it's an average person's walk, the knee will probably not be super high up. Yeah, so somebody asked beforehand if anatomy is important. Anatomy is important, but with animation, if you look at some of like your favorite animation, whether it's from TV or movies, characters' proportions are all out of whack in terms of anatomy, right? Like you look at SpongeBob's a square with sticks for arms and legs. So it's kind of like, oh, do I need to know anatomy if I'm doing a cartoon character? Probably not. But what you do need to have is be able to draw the same character consistently. And so that's keeping an eye on proportions and volume and kind of structure and all that kind of stuff. So anatomy is important, especially if you are drawing human-like characters, but it's not the most important. I think the most important is getting a good grasp of consistencies. So yeah. So this is all you need when we draw a kind of character walking. I don't know if I have the file on hand, but yeah, I guess I won't won't animate like a normal person. I'll try to spend more of the time animating our cat character. But if you ever want to keep track of a normal walk cycle, you want to make sure that there is a kind of curve that's happening with your characters. And this curve should be kind of consistent with all the different parts of the body. So the shoulders, the hips, all that kind of stuff. Because if you're able to keep this consistency, then your character will look like it's moving proportionally. It's not, the character's body size isn't all of a sudden changing and shifting all the time. You'll be able to keep track of whether your character is looking consistent. So when you're trying to keep track of how your character is moving up and down, this is more so for, actually, no, this can go for the treadmill walk. Treadmill walk basically means the character walks in place, and then you have the one where a person actually moves across the screen. It applies to both. You want to just make sure that there's a kind of wave motion happening, because if your character is walking in a completely flat straight line, it looks odd to us. If we see it, we'll be like, oh, that looks kind of mechanical or robotic, or like a shuffle feet. So if someone is walking by shuffling their feet, it probably wouldn't be moving up and down too much, but it'll still be moving like a little bit. So you want to keep track of this kind of up and down rhythm that's happening with your character. And the same thing can be said for the feet as well, how it's moving across the screen. It's going to be a lot longer in terms of this motion, but there is a little bit of this S-curve shape happening in the feet as well. So yeah, this is pretty much all you need to know when it comes to doing a walk cycle. Now, it sounds, again, it's really simple, but it takes time to perfect it and master it. So try this out, try these 4 poses out and see if it works, and see how it looks like. But yeah, that's all we pretty much need. And then the hands is kind of up to you. The hands, you want to keep it, actually, no, it depends on, now that I think about it, it just depends on the type of character you want to draw. If you want a very even walk, like a soldier's march, then you might have the arms swing on beat with the legs. But if usually I feel like most people walk out of sync, like their hands don't swing necessarily on beat with the legs. So it just kind of, again, comes down to experimentation, trying things out, seeing what works, and all that kind of stuff. Swinging your legs around. That is something that you could do. I feel like you would still have to bend your legs at some point. But again, these 4 steps here are like the main basics, like the core basics. It's like I'm giving you the rules, and then afterwards it's like what you do with them is up to you. Do you want to swing your legs around? Does the person do a hop? Does a person do a little skip? How does the person bob their head around? Is the person hunched? Do they puff their chest out? Like, all these things will kind of change the feel of the walk, and it'll kind of just be up to you on how you want to customize it. Waddles and head bobs, yeah. So many things are happening. That's why the steps and the things you need to know to do a walk cycle is super easy and simple. But mastering a walk cycle can take a while. But I would say, put in the practice and you'll get it down. So one thing that I forgot to mention is after the up pose, so after you're done this pose, you go back to the contact pose. But this time it's the other foot in front. So let's say this red leg is our back leg. You see that it's at the back this whole entire time until we get to the passing pose, where it finally crosses over, and now it's the foot in the front. So once we get to the up pose, after the up pose, you go back to the contact, and now it's the red foot in front. So, and you just repeat that, and there we go. You have a walk cycle, just 4 drawings, 4 drawings and you have a walk cycle. So now we're gonna actually try to get the cat going. I'm gonna see if I can copy. Can I copy this? Let's see. Copy and boop. I can. Wait, can I? I thought I could. Maybe can't. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just start over. Walking like that, there is no knee bending. Again, yeah, it's dependent on the type of character you're doing. So we're going to be doing this cat character. I'm actually probably just going to screenshot it. I don't know why I couldn't paste it before. Yeah, this is a character that I did last night. This was the waiting screen. So for those who are joining us, this is the waiting image. And if you're using Krita and you're curious as to how to import a image, you go to layer, you go to import, and you click import layer. And that's how you bring in an image that you want. Yeah, so we got our cat. This is just gonna be the guide for our walk cycle. And I just realized this is gonna be a huge drawing. Yeah, we'll keep it maybe around there, something like that. And I'm probably gonna do a cleaned up, just like a cleaned up version of this cat, so that we have a good reference point for this cat, and I know where everything is gonna be pivoting from and where everything is gonna be kind of stemming from. So we don't need the timeline just yet, because I want to just clean up the drawing, have a very solid line work, so I know what I'm working with. We'll call this, even though it's not, I'll call it a rough block-in. And layers, using layers when we're animating is going to be super important, and it's going to be key to drawing. Yeah, I feel like 18 would be good enough. So I'm calling it this layer rough block, because when we animate, I like to have a very rough, loose kind of block in of frames first, and then afterwards we clean it up. So the rough stage allows us to not be too picky about how clean and perfected it is, but worry more about proportions and whether the character is staying on model and whether the flow is matching or not. So yeah. Okay, so now it's just going to be kind of a walking, chilled drawing time before I get animating. Right now I just want to make sure I know what this cat looks like. And for those who are joining us, if anyone's able to tell me where this cat is from, I mean, there's no prize, but you know, you get an applause from me. It's not exactly, it doesn't look exactly like the cat that I'm drawing inspiration from, but it's pretty close, I feel like. And let's see, eyebrows. Does anybody own a cat? I am allergic to cats, so I do not have a cat. Is it a Studio Ghibli film? You know, originally, actually, I was thinking about drawing a cat similar to the cat in Studio Ghibli, but I felt like that would was a bit too hard. So I did not go for the Studio Ghibli style cat. My friends have cats, and every time I go there, I have to make sure not to touch my face, or else my eyes get super irritated. Feja? That's a cool name. Oh, you have a cat named Storm? I have a friend whose cat is named Stormy. Well, that's kind of cool. It's kind of close. Sushi. I feel like any kind of fish-related names for cats is a good name. Oh, and if people are curious, the shortcut for rotating and zooming in for Krita is the Shift and Spacebar, and for rotating, and then to zoom in, it's Control and Spacebar, kind of thing. So that's how you freely zoom in without having to go to the tools and constantly click it to change your tools to zoom in and rotate. Because I want to keep this character as simple as possible, I don't want to really worry too much about perspective and things like ellipses and top planes and side planes, so I'm trying to keep everything very straightforward looking. Own a rabbit. Rabbits are adorable. Yeah, are you learning? Oh, the zooming in and rotating thing? Yeah. It's because on Krita and Photoshop, or not Krita, on Clip Studio and Photoshop, I think it's the same. It's like R to rotate the screen, but that's not what it is on Krita, and I was like, it's kind of odd. How do you rotate a screen? So I just Googled it because I was like, this is bothering me. Because I rotate my screen a lot, as you can see. I constantly need the ideal angle to draw my characters in, so I feel like this eye might be a bit far-ish. So I'm gonna move it up. I feel like that looks a bit better. I don't know. Oh, and if anyone is curious as well, Krita does not automatically assign a shortcut for free select, so you have to manually assign it. So if you are curious how to assign shortcuts, you go to Settings, Configure Krita, and then you can type it in. So you type freehand selection, and you can see that it pops up. And you just click this box for custom and input whatever you want after you clicked it. So I made it Shift F. But you can make it whatever you want. I just made a Shift F because F for freehand, and it's easy to remember. But yeah. Yeah, this cat's got a bell. It's got kind of a big belly as well, I feel like. Let me see. I'm now thinking, like, should I add a bell? It means it's more work for me. Because I now gotta animate the bell. I don't know. Maybe I might put the bell on a separate layer, so I can just worry about the cat first. Again, if anyone recognizes this cat, feel free to put it in the chat. I don't think I can acknowledge it, but if if you know, if someone gets it, I'll like mention it down the line that someone got it. But so far, no one has gotten where this cat is from, and I don't think anyone will get where this cat is from. It is from a Japanese property, I guess that's one way to put it. Some people have put out that it's from Anime and from Ghibli, and it is from a Japanese property, so you are correct on that front. But not any of those specific properties. Oh, and also for animation, you want to try to have clean line work, or else sometimes when you get to really complicated stuff or a really complicated pose, you might be a little confused as to what is what, you know, what is moving. It'll be harder to keep track of what's happening with your character. Oh, and kind of a plug for Sunday's stream. Me and Iggy will be doing a collab stream. So we will be drawing one of your OC characters. I don't know if anybody here has submitted anything, but we are drawing. We had some submissions. We actually had a good amount of submissions, and we are going to be drawing a few of them because we only have so much time and we want to draw as many as we can. So unfortunately, we are not able to draw everyone's OC, but we were able to pick out a few. And I think I might actually move the cat ears up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a bit better. I don't know. Well, I feel like proportionally that looks a bit better. I want to say Animal Crossing. No, it's not from Animal Crossing, but I feel like that's a pretty good guess. It's got a similar style in some sense. Yeah. I've never played Animal Crossing though, so. Okay, also these details that I'm adding onto the cat right now, I would not do this on the rough block-in, but I just want to put it in for reference purposes so that I know that I'll need to think about this down the line. But for now, it's probably... I'm not going to do it when we get to the blocking in. And we are giving this cat space boots. I think I might know this cat. What color would they be? Oh, I guess this is a good hint. I don't know what the color would be. It definitely looks like, look at the finished result. Yeah, I'm also curious as to what this will look like in the finished result. I think that is the kind of nice thing about animation, is that sometimes you just don't know what it'll turn out exactly like. I mean, you should get an idea roughly, but sometimes it's the surprise at the end that's the fun part of animating. Kind of being surprised and then trying to find a way to fine-tune it. Okay, so I think this is good. We got our cat drawn out. I think I'm just gonna thicken up the lines on the head. You might know, I feel like that is like that was probably like the biggest hint, that I don't know what the color is. And is it from a manga? It is from a manga. It is. But I feel like it's one that not too many people would have probably read just yet, because it's kind of new. I'm really trying to figure it out. Again, like I said, it's one of those where I don't think I can really actually acknowledge what it is. So if you do get it right, I will acknowledge you in my mind. In my heart, I will recognize you. Maybe at the end of the stream, I'll see if anyone's mentioned it, and then I'll say if anyone's got it. Okay, I think we're good. I mean, in terms of like this cat design, it's nothing like special or unique, but it was based on something, so I didn't like make it up off the top of my head. I feel like this cat head is bothering me. It's not what I want it to be. So I think I'm just gonna shrink it. I feel like it got a bit too big, not too tall. But I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because I know we gotta start animating, gotta start giving it some motion, some movement. So no clue. Yeah, do we have any manga readers in the chat? Do we have any people who read instead of watch? Actually, I'm kind of curious. Do most people watch, or do people still read? That sounds like a really weird question, but I feel like, at least here in Canada, I think like if you go to like the bookstore, the manga shelves are constantly stacked. They're always like everything's always in stock. And then you go to the comic book side, like the graphic novel side, and oh my goodness, it's so sad. It used to be the other way around, where I feel like graphic novels were like super popular and the shelves were full of them, and then now it's the other way around, where the comic graphic novel side is really empty and the manga side is really like just jam-packed. I think we have like two large walls full of just manga. Garfield's wife, you got it. Nah, can you imagine? Does Garfield have a wife? I didn't know Garfield had a wife. And I also haven't read Garfield in so long. Okay, so we are done. I think right now what I'm gonna do is just create these guidelines like what I mentioned before, and I'm just gonna use a blue line to roughly give myself a gauge as to the top and bottom. Okay, I feel like that was pretty good. And I'm gonna use the top of the head and not the ears as my guide. I was wondering where my selection stuff went. I accidentally hit it. So yeah, the top and bottom. Do I want to do a center line? You know, I'll do another one on where the bottom of the collar is. I feel like that might be unnecessary, but you know what? We're doing it anyways. Okay. If you want to just keep track of it, sometimes a middle line like vertically down might help to just make sure that everything's kind of swinging properly. But for now, I feel like just these 3 lines is a good block. And Doraemon. I've seen a couple Doraemons. It is not Doraemon. Okay, so we're gonna finally get animating. We have about a little over an hour. So right now, I'm gonna bring up my timeline. So we go to settings, and then we go to Dockers, and then we click animation timeline. And for me, everything's already there, so the onion skin's already attached to it, but if for some reason you lost it, or if you lost any kind of tool panel, they're always going to be in the settings, Dockers, and then it's all here. So if you are curious as to the workspace that I'm using, I am using the animation workspace under Window, Workspace, and then Animation. And what it does is it basically shifts all these tools at the top. Originally, these tools are on the side, on like the left-hand side, and it kind of, you know, it kind of takes up space. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna move them up to the top. So the animation workspace is kind of nice because it shifts everything up to the top, so you get one free side, so you get just a little bit more space. But it's kind of up to everyone in terms of like what they want to, how they like to work, and the type of space they have. But yeah, once I set it to animation workspace, for some reason Krita is like, oh, you're animating, you don't need colors, so it takes away the color wheel. So that's why I'm bringing this up, because if you do decide to use the animation workspace, it will take away the color wheel, and the color wheel is over here. It's called Advanced Color Selector, so you can always click that to bring it back. And it also takes away your brushes, which again, I don't know why. Like, I get it, maybe you're animating so you don't need it, but the brush presets are here, so if you want to bring them back, you can. And let's say they will usually pop up off to the side randomly, and all you have to do is just click on the name. So you click on Advanced Color Selector, and you can see Krita gives you like a preview of where it'll be. So you just need to hover it around just so Krita shows you where it's gonna be. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I'm gonna use this blue color for blocking. Okay, so right now you can see on my timeline, so for those who have never used Krita's timeline animation before, you can see there's a bunch of layers on my timeline, but I'm not animating on these layers at all, so there's no point in having them. So what I'm gonna do is just click the unpin button, and it will take all these off of my timeline. So right now I'm only using the rough block layer. Can you see info history in the Dockers? Oh. Undo history. I rarely use the undo history, but let me see. Do I have it? Oh, I do. I have undo history. Where did it put it? It's over here. It looks like this for me. Yeah, I don't know. I've also had a student say like they don't have Dockers or some of the other settings, and I found that to be kind of weird. I would say like just make sure you have the correct up-to-date Krita downloaded, and you have the standard one, I guess. You might have to look up as to why it's not there, because I didn't really do anything in terms of settings. I just went on Krita's site and just downloaded it, the one that was on their site. So yeah, this is kind of this should be the default one. So yeah, I don't know really why. I'm teaching and everyone's just like taking a poll as to what is what. That's okay. Okay, so we got our cat character and we have our timeline. So in order to get animating, we need to create a blank frame of animation or a frame of animation. And to do that, we gotta click this button over here. This is Add Blank Frame. But what you'll notice is if I click Add Blank Frame, did I do it? Yes. My cat disappears. So I just spent like 10 minutes drawing this cat, and now it's gone. And it's like, oh no, what do I do? It's gone forever. Well, it's not actually gone forever. All you have to do is instead of clicking, instead of clicking Add Blank Frame, just click Duplicate Frame, because then that will maintain the drawing that's on your screen. So right now you can see my cat has not disappeared, and it's on frame 1, and it's there for the entire timeline up to frame 1. So if you have done a drawing and you forgot to create a blank frame, you can press Duplicate Frame and it'll keep your drawing and such. I am using so Holly asked what tablet I'm using. I am using a Wacom Cintiq 13-inch Pro. Cintiq. I said all those things out of order, but it is it is something along those lines. So it's a Wacom. It's a Cintiq Pro, and I think it's 13 inches. I feel like it's a decent size. It is still pretty expensive, so I think market retail is like 1,200 or 1,000, but it might have gotten more expensive over time. And I feel like they sell better ones now. But yeah, I got a second hand, so I only had to pay 600. You have to tell you what where this cat is from. It's killing us. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I will. Can I say? You know what? I'll give a hint as to what it is later on. I won't say where it's from, but I'll give a hint as to where it is. And then if you guys join us on the Sunday stream, you can maybe tell me what you think it's from. Okay, so we got our first frame down. So basically this cat that I have here is going to be my reference image, in the sense that I'm not really going to be using this to guide everything. Actually, now that I say that, I feel like I should have maybe called this something else. We'll call this the reference. And this one is the rough block. Yeah, so the reference, if I remove it, yeah, it removes it. Whatever. Okay, so the reference, I'm just gonna have it here, but I'm gonna have it low on opacity, and basically my entire cat is going to be based on this reference image. So I'm still gonna again start on frame 1 with my rough block, but my reference is going to be underneath it, so it's a bit easier to keep track of it. And also I'm going to change my clip start to 1, and it's a walk cycle that's going to be only really like 8 frames, so I think I'm going to just have it at 10 for now and see how it goes. I'm going to keep it at 24 frames. Not going to turn on the onion skin just yet, but going to make sure to add a blank frame here. So now I have a blank frame and everything is good, everything is set up. Again, also another nice note is right now I said that this frame of animation is only going to be 10 frames long. So right now on my timeline you can see that I have 36 frames. I mean, I think the logo is covering it a little bit, but I have 36 frames on my timeline. I don't need to be seeing 36 frames, so that's a bit too much. So if you click on this kind of icon over here in the layers section on the timeline, you click and drag it, it'll zoom in your timeline. So right now it's zoomed in, it's a lot more manageable. I can see all my frames a little bit bigger, so I personally prefer it. So yeah. A hint. I feel like it'd be kind of hard to even find this, because you could type in cat anime manga character and you probably wouldn't be able to find this character. So you know what, I'm having fun with you guys trying to figure out what this cat is called. And just like everyone's being like, what is it? Tell me, I need to know. Okay, so we are going to start with our contact pose, and actually I feel like I can probably copy and paste this, because nothing really changes too much except for the hands and the legs, so we're just gonna copy. Yeah. That way I don't have to worry too much about maintaining proportions. Okay, so it did that. I'm just gonna, I know we're taking a while. We're gonna try to get this going. Okay. So I'm just gonna change it to blue so I can kind of see what I'm doing compared to the other one. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's good. Okay, now we can finally get going. Meow. I feel like meow is like not too bad. Hear a clock. No, don't bring up time. Time is an animator's worst nightmare. Yeah. Actually. Okay, so the leg, we want a contact pose. So I'm just gonna copy this leg. I know this feels like it's cheating a little bit. We're gonna put it maybe kind of around here. Maybe something like that. So there's gonna be a little bit of a stretch, but not too much. And the reason why I have the toe go past it is because I want the toe to bend. So I'm just gonna have the toe bend a little bit. And I feel like with animation, it's requires a little bit more focus and concentration than any other kind of art kind of thing. As you can see, my talking has gone worse. Because animation, I feel like, requires a kind of focus that's not... It's not the same, I guess you could say, compared to drawing and painting. So it's gonna be... If I end up being quiet, it's because I'm trying to focus. And I'm trying to keep it loose, trying to not focus too much, and just trying to think of those 4 steps that I need for drawing it. Should be maybe something like that. Probably would be good to draw through the character. Toe seems a bit big, so I'm just gonna shrink it a little bit. Oops. Okay, and let's see. I want this arm to be swinging a little bit. So I'm just gonna, again, use the power of digital drawing and swing the arm a little bit. Actually, it should be this way, because usually it's a good idea to have the arm be opposite to the leg that's in the front. So right now my front leg is the left leg, and I want the arm that's opposite to be the one that's swinging in front. So the left leg is in front, so which means the right arm, I want it to be in front, kind of thing. Maybe we'll, you know what, we'll deal with the tail later, because the tail, I feel like, would be like a whole nother thing. And I think I actually kind of want to have this be a bit further back. I feel like that makes a bit more sense. But then that also means the toes are gonna be curled up a little bit more. Right now, yes, I am keeping in track of like anatomy or not anatomy, but like proportions, but I'm not worried about it too much. My focus is more on just capturing the pose and seeing whether it matches the character design and the attitude properly, kind of thing right now. So that's really my focus. My focus is more on that kind of thing. So right now, this is what it looks like if it was swinging. Does it look like a switch me? Kind of. Sweet Chi. Oh, from Fairy Tale. You know what? I was thinking about drawing the cat from Fairy Tale. Uh, oh. Yeah, I feel like the cat from Fairy Tale was something that did cross my mind. I will say, someone, I don't know, does someone get it? Okay, so we're gonna move on to frame 2 now. I think 2, yes. So I'm gonna duplicate this frame. So, yep. So this is the blocking phase. We're on this. So now we're on a down pose. Now, because the character is so simplified, I probably don't know if I can do too much because there's not actually too much space that allows for a down pose. But I'm just gonna do it just like a little bit. Maybe something like that. Actually, give me a sec. I'm gonna lower the body, the entire body, just like a little bit. Because it's a very stylized, simple, cartoony character. I'm not gonna really lower it too much. But, yeah. But yeah, somebody, I think someone kinda got it. I'm not gonna say who, but someone got it. I feel like the person who got it probably knows who they are. You know, they're probably like, I think I got it. And those who don't know still are probably like, wait, what? Someone got it? Someone knows where this cat is from? What? I don't know. Do I you know, I didn't say anything about what this is. Okay, so on the down pose, remember that, oh, I should probably turn on onion skin. So remember that the on the down pose, the front leg is planted. So I'm gonna have it follow the axis of the kind of heel. So I'm using the heel as a guide for what is kind of where it's pivoting, basically. So right now, right now this is what we have. Just a little step. It's kind of tapping his feet. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to frame 5. Again, duplicate it. Gonna turn on the onion skin so I know what I need to change. Okay, so the next one is the passing pose. So this one is kind of tricky, and when you do a down pose, I would say that the body should actually turn a little bit. So I'm gonna pivot. Oh, ran out of space. Dang it. Okay, let me see, did it track it? Oh, it did. Awesome. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I'm just gonna have the body tilt just like a smidge, not too much, because I don't want the cat to be like wobbling like crazy. But again, we'll see how it turns out. You're so evil, man. Why? Because I won't say which cat it is? 1-star confession just made me... Okay, so... yeah, I'm just tweaking it a little bit. Okay, so we're now back to this one. I'm just gonna delete this. And I'm gonna... oops. I'm gonna copy frame 3 and put it onto frame 5. And because this is the passing pose, usually what happens is that the body starts tilting like a little bit. So it starts going back up, but not too much. Kind of back to its contact height, and it leans a little bit. So again, I don't want it to be too much, or else it might be like jittering all over the place. So again, probably gonna have to just see how it turns out. And because this is the passing pose, this is the one that takes the biggest step, because the feet in the front is going to move kind of in the middle of the body-ish, so something like that. So I'm just gonna erase that and just make sure I have, probably gonna have to clean up the proportions of this cat afterwards if I have time. And this leg that's over here is going to start moving in front of this leg. So we're gonna move it kinda maybe like here, something like that. I feel like that's something like that. There is a good spot. And maybe I'm just gonna erase this. So what makes a walk cycle believable is not just making sure you have the 4 steps down, but also it's the context. So right now, as this cat is moving forward, I want the cat's foot to barely leave the ground just yet. So I want it to be like really hanging on kind of thing, because that is what gives a walk cycle weight, a sense of weight and believability in how it's moving. So I'm just going to have the foot linger over here just like a little bit, and I'm gonna have the size of this foot maybe something like that, somewhere over there. Okay, so I'm just gonna see how this looks for now. Okay, here we go. Hey, that's not looking too bad. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's getting there. We ever figure out who this cat is from? Somebody did. I don't know. I can say it's Japanese. Is it even a cat? Is it? Yeah, I don't know. Is it a cat? Would onion skin show layers in front as well as in back? Yeah, you can adjust that. So right now I am only showing one onion skin. So if you have the onion skin on right now, you can see the red lines is the frame that came before. But right now I just have the previous frames showing. So if I want to see the frames that are coming up ahead, I just have to turn on the ones that are not negative on the onion skin. Oh my, the logo might be blocking it, but on the onion skin, let me see, I'll just drag it out here in the middle of the screen so you can see it. The negative ones are the ones that are previous frames, and then the ones that are positive are the ones that are coming up ahead. And so you get to control how many frames you get to see previously as well as how many frames you're seeing up ahead. Typically for me, I just like to see one frame ahead or behind, just because I like to keep my screen not too busy. So that's why I do it this way, but everybody has their kind of own approach. So yeah. And I also have a shortcut for the onion skin. So if I press Shift O, it turns on and off the opacity for the onion skin. So yeah. Do you to give us the answer? Oh, you guys still try to figure out what it is? You know what? I will not give an answer as to where it's from, but someone did get it. So I feel like we're kind of on our way. This is looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's looking pretty nice. My animation, not to toot my own horn or anything, but yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the arm actually, because I forgot to swing it. So I'm gonna swing this arm. Gonna put the anchor point around the shoulder And maybe it's gonna be slower, so I want it to have a little bit of a build up before the arm completely swings. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I want it, when it's at its up pose, to have it finally be at its highest peak. So that does mean I will have to trace, like redraw this cat. And again, I'm bringing up the reference image so I know what it looks like. Okay, and now we'll go back here. Just slightly cleaning it up. Okay, so if I turn off the onion skin, right now we have 3 poses. We got the contact, we got the down, and then we got the passing. So we got these 3 poses, and I feel like it's looking pretty good so far. We're half an hour in, and I feel like this is a pretty decent progress, I would say. Okay, so now on the 7th frame is now the up pose. So again, I'm just going to duplicate what we have. And the up pose is when our character is at its highest. So because our character is not that tall, I'm not going to raise it too much, and I'm not going to move it forward too much. Just enough that I can see that there's a little bit of like change in position and motion. You don't have the patience for animation. It is, honestly, it is a very, it's a lot of work, animation, not gonna lie. It's not for everyone. It looks cool, and it's awesome, but yes, it is not for everyone. I think I'm gonna have the back foot, maybe here? Yeah, I feel like that's a good spot. And I'm now going to... This is where our foot is hyperextending, remember? So some people like to lift up the front foot a little bit, so maybe I might do that as well. Just have the front foot lift up just a bit, just a smidge. And then this is... Actually... Oh, okay. So this is the up pose. I now need the back leg to move way up. So that's what I'm going to do. Again, because this character is very cartoony, I might not actually be able to do too much in terms of having it move its leg up. So it might actually look like it's tripping over itself, this cat, but... Or I guess I should say herself. Wow, another hint. I don't know. Did you guys get that? Tripping over herself. I don't know. Oh, this cat is a her. Oh. Wow. What does that mean? Okay, and then we're gonna shift the hand over again to its max. Again, I don't really want it to be super, like, I don't want the hand to be really, really swinging, so. Something like that. I feel like it's pretty decent. Okay, so again, just gonna turn off onion skin. At this stage, I feel like it is good to keep track of of how the motion is and if everything is kind of lining up. So right now I feel like it's good. I don't know if you guys can see it, if there's a delay or anything, but I feel like the motion, right now I have 4 drawings, I have the main drawings, and what I'm trying to look for is if the motion makes sense and if things are lining up. So remember how in the beginning where I talked about how there should be this curve, this kind of S curve that's coming down and following the flow of the body? That's what I'm looking for. So my cat right now, I'm looking for that curve and just tracking to see if things are lining up. If there's anything that's jumping, if there's like something that doesn't quite match or line up. So this front leg probably is not looking like quite there, but it is a bit tricky because her proportions are very small. So there's only so much that I can really do in terms of making it believable in how it's connecting. But I feel like overall it's not bad. I think what is missing right now, which would be stuff that I would add in afterwards, is the tail. Smooth like butter. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Orange. Right now, if I had more time, I would add in the other stuff. So like the bell bouncing, the tail, and maybe even the ears. The ears maybe not like moving or bouncing, but having it just twitch every now and then to add a little bit more believability to it. Orange gave up. Yes. I've done animation before. It is time consuming. It is. So it is one of those where if you'll know if you like it. But again, I feel like that kind of comes into what animation program you use. Krita, I feel like, is the in-between where it's not super complex, but it's not super simple. Where you got something like Procreate, where Procreate's very straightforward. And the tools to animate with Procreate is very simple. You can do some complicated stuff with Procreate, but the way the tools that it has are very simple. So maybe that might be an easy way to ease yourself into animation. Some people have said that Flip a Clip is easier to understand than Krita, but that's why I feel like everybody has a different feel. You kind of just have to give it a shot and see if it works or not. But right now, I feel like Krita is pretty good because the tools aren't super complicated, but just enough for you to get a decent, somewhat complicated animation. Okay, so frame 9. This is again where what I mentioned, where after we finish the up pose, we go all the way back to the context. So you know what that means. I don't have to do anything. I just need to copy frame 1 and bring it over to frame 9. But you'd be like, that doesn't make sense because the legs aren't switched. So that's all I have to do. I just have to switch the legs and that's it. Wow, so easy. Well, I also have to switch the hands, I guess. I gotta move those hands. Move that hand. Where's that from? I feel like that's from somewhere. It's not move that hand, but it's like from something, I feel like. Okay, so I'm gonna have it just be a little bit more, and because it's slowing down when it reaches there, I'm gonna have it be a little bit close. Okay, and then this is again where the reference image comes in, because now I just have to trace the reference image. Alarm went off. Okay, so now I'm just cleaning up, making sure everything is lined up and everything looks proper. Okay. I still will probably have to adjust some stuff, but yeah, so right now the cat is not leaning forward a little. It's a bit off in terms of its position, so I'm probably gonna have to adjust something. It's moving up and it goes up and then comes back down. I might move the up position. So the up position, I want it to be delayed. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have the up position move back just a smidge, not too much, but just enough that it lines back up with the contact pose. But again, not gonna know until we take a look at it. Yeah, I feel like that's okay. Better tell us what this cat is. Flipple clip. Yeah, I've never used it, but some people have told me it's not too bad. I don't know. I mean, the great thing is Krita's free, so give it a shot. You don't have to pay for anything. I think the only thing you have to pay for would be your computer space and whether your computer can handle it or not. But yeah. So right now, I'm animating on 2s, meaning I'm not animating on every single frame. I'm just animating every other frame. So again, this is why this is like a good way to practice it, because you don't have to do too much. We just did 5 drawings, and I feel like we got one stride going. So if I play it, it looks a little weird, but I feel like it kind of works. It has like a little bit of like a quick momentum going on. You know, it has like a very fast walk. I actually think I might move this one over a little bit as well. It's moving a bit too much, maybe. Yeah, okay. I feel like that's actually not bad. Let me save and let's play it. Hey, there we go. We got one step. We got one step down. Hey, cool. New subscriber. Awesome. 500. Lay's dead. What is this cat's name? Okay, so this is what we got. I might actually have to draw the other hand. So right here, let me see. Yeah, so based on my front hand, I can see a little bit of it. So I'm gonna draw the back hand. Probably, let me see. Let me see, the backhand, probably something like that. Okay, and if you're wondering why I'm doing this, is because I don't want to duplicate. I don't want to duplicate the other hand, so I'm just going to duplicate this back one. Is this maybe the less efficient and weird way of doing it? Maybe, but just off the top of my head right now, this is how I'm doing it. Okay, so right now I want to be able to see the other hand that's at the back, and then I'm just going to add back the stuff that was there. Okay, so this hand, I feel like we might see like just a smidge of it. So it's swinging forward. Both the hands are not coming off to the side, so I won't see both of them. But now I probably would see. So right now what I would do is I would look for this arch, this arm swing arch, and I would draw the hand somewhere maybe like here, something like that. So now I'm just going to erase this arch line. Something like this, maybe. I feel like would be good. And then we got this one, so I'm just going to, again, do the same thing as I did before, which is just trace it. Again, is there a more convenient way of doing this? Probably. Okay. Haha. Got it. Okay, so probably looking something like that. Or we'll place it there for now. Just gonna, oops, just gonna erase these lines. And I know this is the cheap way of doing it, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay, I think this is good. Let's see if it flows. Let's see if it makes sense. Because sometimes you'll be like, yeah, you know, I followed it through, but then it just doesn't match up. Okay, I feel like that's looking not too bad. We're gonna extend this to 12 frames just so that there's a little bit of a break so I can actually see what it looks like when it's done moving. Yeah, I feel like the hand at the back, I feel like it lines up. Okay, so I accidentally drew this terribly over here. Let me see. Okay, just gonna readjust this over here. Okay. Oh my goodness, when did I draw this? What is this? What is this line? Sujaman. Oh yeah. Yeah, thanks for the clarification, Joanne. Will we do another stride? I think we can. I think we should be able to. So the other stride, this is the easy part because basically you just duplicate the frames that we just did. So right now I'm just gonna extend it to, my math is terrible. Let's go 16. I feel like 16 should be enough. So right now I'm just gonna, because this was the contact pose, right? So now I'm gonna take frame 3. I'm gonna hold down Control and then duplicate it over to frame 11. Then I'm gonna take frame 5, duplicate it to frame 13, and then frame 7, duplicate it to frame 7 to 15. Oh, and I guess I need one more. We're gonna duplicate frame 1 and move it to frame 17. So let me see. This was our contact pose. So this is the down, but now our foot needs to be switched. So that's what we're gonna do. And also our arm, I think, is in the wrong spot. Yeah. So we don't really need the reference anymore in that location. So what I'm actually going to do is have it to the side. Yeah, have it to the side like there. This way I can actually trace it. I can trace it, and I don't have to do that weird copying pasting thing that I did. So the arm is swinging this way, and it's swinging back. Actually, I'm not going to worry about the arm for now. So the arm is the only thing that's a bit out of sync, technically, so to speak, when it comes to this pose. So I'm just going to figure out the arms, not the arms, I'm going to figure out the legs for now. Yeah, because the arm was back there, so I'm just gonna... Okay, I said I wasn't gonna worry about the arm, but I'm like tracing the arm already. And we're just gonna move this arm over here, and I feel like that position is... Whoops. I feel like this position for the arm's not too bad. Maybe not quite coming down just yet. Bye, Orange. I guess they probably left already. I don't know. Okay, and then this arm, I'm just gonna trace like this bottom half just so I get the size correct. And we're gonna rotate it a little bit and have it be, I think last time we had it somewhere around there. So I feel like that is a good spot. Again, just gonna erase what I don't need. Make sure it's looking good. And now we just do the same thing to everything. So right now we just did our down pose. We cleaned up, we switched the legs on our down pose, and we repositioned the arm. The arm is looking good. And actually this one, I feel like doesn't need too much of a cleanup, except for just this bit on the legs. Yeah. And then this one is good too. It's just that now the arm needs to be repositioned. So that's why walk cycles are pretty simple. Once you get one stride down, it's just copying and pasting and just readjusting. Okay, so let me see. Should be this. I think. Yeah, we don't really see the back leg because we have swapped legs. And let me see, where was the arm? The arm was swinging forwards, so we need a forward swinging arm. So that's again why I chose a really simple character, because I want to be able to just quickly draw what's happening with it. Whoops. That's one. And again, I want to make sure that the arch for the arm and how it's swinging is also correct. So yeah, just gonna make sure everything lines up, but again, not really gonna know until we draw it out, see how it looks. Okay, so I feel like this part, probably gonna be able to see it. Oops. Probably gonna be able to see it right there. That's an awkward spot because there's a lot of tension points, so to speak. So yeah, okay, I'm just gonna quickly just see if it looks okay. Oh, there we go. Hey, we got a really quick walk. Oh, okay, hope you guys can see it. It was a loop. There we go. We got, okay, we're not actually done with it just yet because I need to clean up that last. So this was the up pose, and then we're back to the beginning. Actually, is that the same? Hey, oh, okay, so I need to change the arm because I did not realize that the arm is lined up exactly there, so I need to actually change the position of that. Let's put it just a little bit down so there's a little bit of easing. So easing is when the arm doesn't just all of a sudden pop, you know, immediately into the next position, like really quick. Easing is when there's a little bit of slowing down, and in order to show that, you want to put the position close to each other. So I don't know, that was a horrible way of explaining it, but you can see for my green drawing how the green drawing arm is pretty close to where the blue arm is. So when it's going in motion, it will slow down because they're so close to each other. But when they're further apart, let me see, do I have one that's further? Not really. Okay, this, maybe like this is a little bit further. Yeah, so you see how the top part of the arm is pretty close to where the green one is gonna be, like over here. They're pretty close in proximity, and then now they're much further away. So where the green tip of the paw and then where the green tip of the blue paw, they're now further apart. So having them further apart will make the arms swing faster, and then having them start being closer together will have the motion seem like it's a bit slower. So let's turn off all these guides, and I'm just gonna save it, and I'm gonna play it one more time because I think, hey, there we go. Hey, it's working. Hey. Actually, I think I can delete. So we'll have it run to frame 15 because it should line up. Hey, there we go. We have a really quick bobbing, a quick bobbing cat, quick walk cycle. So this is like very like a very basic walk cycle, and it only requires 4 main drawings. So contact, down, passing, and up, and then afterwards you just copy and paste those, and then you just have to switch the feet and you get a walk cycle. Now this is like still on the rough stage. We only have about 15 minutes left, but what I would do now is probably also animate the other stuff. So like the tail and the bell, making sure that the bell has like a little bit of a bounce to it, make sure the tail has a bit of a bounce to it, and maybe also add a bit of twitching in the ears, and maybe have the eyes blink. Honestly, you could add so much more to it that it adds life to it. But there's also a bit of jittering with the arm, like the arm's position's not quite stable or consistent. So what I would do now is cleanup. So cleanup would be to fix the arm, fix the feet, make sure the feet's proportions are good, make sure that I got the other elements, secondary actions, so like the tail and the bell moving. But yeah. Water in a paper cup. Oh my goodness, is this... Anyone else craving water? Paper cup? What? What is this? Take me days to do... Nah, I mean... So, maybe I'll run through it like... Okay, I'm not going to run through it maybe, but I think I want to do a little bit of the tail just to show what the tail would look like. So on frame 1, we got the tail, we got the down pose, which means there's going to be a bit of a delay on the tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the tail move up a little bit. So not too much, because I don't want the tail to really be wild and moving all over the place. So I'm just going to have the tail maybe be like here. Something like that. And yeah, so the tricky thing is I'm going to have to try to make sure that this tail looks proportional, because as it's moving, I'm probably going to end up making the tail shorter or thinner than it actually is. So I'm going to have to just make sure on cleanup. So right now, remember, this is still the block in. This is still the rough aspect of it. So let's see how that looks. Just those 2 frames. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna lower it, move it down a little bit, because I feel like that's too much. That's too much movement for one step. So what I'm trying to do is have a bit of a delay on the cat's tail movement. So I'm just gonna shift it over a little bit and just straighten out some of the position of the tail, just like a little bit. Okay, let's see. I feel like this is not really working out as like what I thought it'd be. But we don't have the other positions, so I don't know. Cone of heavenly water. Is someone thirsty? People not have something to drink? One of the legends for sure. stay hydrated. Yeah. Orange, you've apparently ascended in status. I don't know, are they back? It's kind of... trying to fix the tail's position just like slightly. This is like the stubborn part of me where I'm just like, I will figure this tail out. You know what? I don't know, man. This tail. Please. I want it. Oh, cool. You gotta... Yeah, so I don't know if anyone did a walk cycle alongside with me, but if you want to put it in the submit it in the Discord, you can, and you know, I'll take a look at it. Just at me if you want to, and I'll be down to take a look at them. Did I finally reveal the name? Actually, does it have a name? I guess she does have a name, kind of. It's not really a name. It's a title. This cat has a title. I didn't copy the cat exactly, so like this cat's design that I based it on has some things that I've changed a little bit of it. MTS. MTS is like, I needs to know. There's that one part of the tail that's just like, woo, woo. Okay, I'm gonna try to animate the tail, you know. Okay, so... Josh. I mean, you know, you've been losing your mind. Don't worry, one day you'll learn about who this cat is. This cat is very fast. It's a very fast cat. It's super fast, and they are a lot older than they appear to be, you know. I'm like giving so many hints at this point, or just like, who is this cat? Who is it? Tell us the name. We're almost done. I'm gonna stop at the 55 mark, and will I ever reveal who this cat is based on? I don't know. It is a cat, you know. I feel like it's gonna be hard to do like a cat wiggle, tail wiggle, as it's just like a one walk cycle. The tail wiggle would actually probably be a lot longer than just 2 steps. So, yeah. Actually, I'll probably, you know, just leave it here. I'm just gonna not do the tail. I'm gonna put it back to how it was before, and I'll upload this version of it. Then I can't be in shame. Poor kitty. My Apple Pen. Yeah, the tail just not working out, but Yeah. So I guess I'll keep it running in the background. Just ignore the tail. But walk cycle wise, yes, this is color. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the color down. I would not do color just yet because I would want to do the tail and the bell and make sure that those things are kind of animating properly. Oh, thanks, Sue Jammin. That's thank you for the $9.99 donation. Yay. How tag Josh in Discord? I think Joanne put my name up. I think it's at Josh Moody. Yeah. Josh Moody is how you can tag me on the Wing Canvas Discord. So this is where we got up to. Maybe I won't upload it immediately after stream. I'll like touch it up a little bit and maybe attempt the bell and the tail, and then I'll upload that. But if you guys want to upload your own walk cycles, if you did it alongside me, or like later on if you decide to rewatch this and attempt a walk cycle, that's cool too. And be sure to tag me, and maybe that way I'll be able to see it and see what you guys did. But yeah, I guess after I do the tail and the bell, I still wouldn't color it because I now need to refine it. So clean up the proportions, clean up some of the head bobbing and just all that. And then I would do a clean line work, and then I would put color. But for now, this is a kind of just a simple rough line drawing of a cat walking. Yeah. Yeah, organization of supplies always key. But yeah, so if you guys liked what we did here, if you like this stream, remember to check us out again on our socials. We got Discord, Instagram, Facebook. So if you don't have Discord, you can always post your stuff on Instagram or on Facebook, and be sure to tag us. If you enjoyed this stream and you want to support us, help making free arts education, remember that we do have Patreon, so maybe think about supporting us there, or you can donate to us like on our stream as well. That's one way to do it. And if you do support us on Patreon, you do get perks. So again, just a reminder that there are some bonuses and special kind of behind the scenes extras if you do support us on Patreon. There's a bunch of goodies, I guess. And if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed the stream, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. It shows just how much you enjoy the stuff that we're making, and it's a great encouragement for us as we continue to make these videos and kind of set up these streaming events. So yeah, I'll stay on for like a little bit longer, but officially that's the end of our stream. So yeah. Oh, and I guess quick plug again, Sunday we are streaming. I'll be on that stream as well. I'll be streaming with Iggy, and we're gonna do a collab stream where we draw your OCs, or at least the ones that you guys have submitted. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Love to see all of you guys there. And yeah, and oh, for those who still don't know where the cat is from, I still can't tell you where this cat is from, but the name of the series starts with a D. So I don't know, maybe that'll give you a hint. Starts with a D. This cat is very fast and a lot older than it looks like. It is. You got it? Thank goodness, MTS. You've been like crying about it for for the entire stream. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Sue's been a great help. I didn't say anything though. I've neither confirmed nor denied necessarily exactly specifically where this cat is from. But yeah. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Well, 6 o'clock on my end, which is the time we're using, but it was great seeing you guys. This is the end of the stream. I'm waving my hand. I realize I don't have the camera on, but I'm waving my hand. Like, you guys can see me waving, but I am waving bye. But bye! It was great seeing you guys, everyone here. Bye-bye. Yeah, I know pain and misery. I'm sure it wasn't that bad, don't worry. Yeah, hopefully you can make it on Sunday, it'd be great.